Hey loves, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Faith, and today guys I'll be checking out this interesting video from Piers Morgan's, and it's titled Jordan Peterson gives his thought on his daughter divorce. And you guys, I'm super excited as always. If you're here to subscribe to this channel, please consider subscribing, give this video a massive thumbs up, comment, share, and all that good stuff. And without much ado, let's see what this video is all about.
Michaela, I want to play you a tape. This is from a podcast in which you talked about getting divorced.
It was very, very difficult to get divorced considering what my dad talks about. It made me stay in a relationship longer than I should have. I don't agree with the more conservative story of divorce that people are being told. I think being in a relationship that's not good for you, I think you should get out of that relationship.
Interesting that. Let me ask you, Jordan, when you heard her say that, did you feel any responsibility that she may have stayed in a very unhappy marriage for too long because she didn't want to upset you because of your views?
No, I wouldn't say so. I'm able to let my children handle the complexity of their own private lives, knowing at least, I think as I do, that that's a place where only fools would go. And I had faith that she would sort things out, and so I was willing to give her space. I mean, I believe in committed marriage, and so at that level of generality, obviously I have objections to the breakup of a marriage, but I have faith in my daughter, and so I believe she's oriented to find her way, and finding your way is a complex process, and I'm willing to stand back and watch her and to provide whatever help I can along the way, but also not to interfere too much.
Michaela, you're...
That's a good one.
You're remarried now, right?
Yes.
And the name of your second husband?
Jordan Fuller.
Now, a conspiracy theorist, psychologist.
It's funny, I know he does.
You ended up marrying a man named Jordan. Should I be reading anything into this if I was a clinical psychologist?
Oh, I have no idea. Like I said before, I don't know how the world works. I don't think so.
My secretary is named Jordan too.
This is very weird now. Everyone in your world is Jordan. This is like being in Barbie world.
Yeah.
Well, Michaela, let me ask you.
True with Michaela because her husband looks like Ken.
Is that true, Michaela?
Yes. That is like 100% true, yeah.
I want to play you both a clip. Your dad's had a lot of feuds.
Why you guys? I never knew that Michaela Peterson was divorced in the past, because I know that she's married, but didn't know that this was her second marriage. I'm glad that she's okay now, and I'm also happy for what Jordan Peterson said, because once it comes to personal life or personal affair, interference of third party can sometimes make things even worse. And I'm in support of what he said about letting her make her own decision, because he trusts that she's very matured and capable to do what is right for her. I think every parent should learn to act the way Jordan Peterson acted, because so many parents are getting it wrong when it comes to their kids' relationship, because any little thing they tend to interfere and making the littlest of things to escalate to a whole new level. I'm really taking one or two things home from what Jordan Peterson has said in this video, and I'm glad that Michaela is really okay, and hopefully this other marriage will work out for her. And you guys, let's continue watching.
To people, some he starts, some he doesn't, some he just gets picked on for the sake of it. There's a lot of feminists who he winds up very successfully, I would say, because they're very easy to wind up. One of them is Caitlin Moran, who's currently in America, and she's using your dad a lot, ranting away about him. And here's one clip of her talking about your dad.
He shared a piece to his 10 million followers in which I think I do a pretty good demolishment job of his entire career and oeuvre. The advice that he gives is either the kind of stuff your mum would say for free.
Is that
like, make your
all?
bed, pet a
Is that
cat in
all
the
he
street,
says?
or mad stuff about lobsters. I didn't even go to school, let alone university. And I was halfway through his book going, I'm fairly sure I can demolish a great deal of the
You're
logic
just
in
a
this book.
hater.
This guy is not the smartest guy in the world. He's just a man in a waistcoat who sounds, to be honest, a bit like Kermit from The Muppet Show.
Kermit from The Muppet Show. Your thoughts?
Well, that's true. I do sound a lot like Kermit from The Muppet Show. So that was the one thing she said that was accurate.
That's not even her joke, though.
No, it's
That's
not.
not clever if you steal it from somebody else.
No, it's an old joke. But it was a good one when it first came out. Mm-hmm. So what do you think of her?
Sounds like she'd be fun at a party. Or as your mother. Yeah.
Or as your
Have
mother.
that as your mother, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Michaela,
I bet her
do you think,
kids
Michaela,
didn't
that
make
people
their
like
bed.
Michaela, do you think people like Caitlin Moran, do they just
Yeah,
basically
she does.
misunderstand what your dad really is about?
I don't even think they're capable of understanding what he's about. There's too much arrogance there.
Mm-hmm.
You can't be that arrogant and assume you know everything and then read something and learn, or read anything and learn. Right?
That's why you don't cast pearls before swine, dear.
You know, Jordan, my sons, as I think I've told you before, are all big fans of yours. And they just said to me, they got one question, which, what advice do you give for children who are the children of controversial public figures?
Well, you know, Michaela has leapt out and taken the opportunities that came along with that in the public way. My son Julian is a more private person, and he's chosen to erect barriers around his family and not to face the public as much, although he has played his music at my lectures
good.
and he works with me. I
Yeah.
think, you know, each person
Very
has to find their own
important.
way. There are great advantages to having a tremendous amount of attention devoted to you and having people offer opportunities, but each person, depending on their own temperamental proclivities, has
That's
to figure
true.
out.
You guys, I totally agree with what Jordan Peterson has said in this video. Each person have to find their own way and manage themselves, because despite the fact that Jordan Peterson is a well-known man, a celebrity, a very, very important man in Canada, despite all of this, his kids have been able to carve a niche for themselves, and they are doing tremendously well. And this is not to say that they didn't benefit from their father being who he is today, but there are some kids who would have just relaxed and be basking in the euphoria of their father's celebrity status. But instead, these kids have been able to do something differently for themselves. And let me know what you guys think about this so far, and let's wrap this video up, you guys.
how to manage that themselves. And it's complex, but it can work. I mean, Julian, Tammy, and Michaela have all reacted to that in their own way. It took Tammy a good while, like the rest of us, to figure out what her place was, so to speak, but she's really managed that. And Tammy is out in public much more than I would have thought she would have been. You know, if I would have guessed, if I would have been able to see into the future 10 years ago, she's become quite an accomplished public speaker, for example, and she certainly didn't think that was in her cards, in the cards or in the stars. But things come at you, and you surf the wave, and you're happy for the opportunity. And Julian and Michaela and Tammy have all adapted in their various ways, and I think at the moment that's working like a charm.
And Michaela,
So,
if I asked you,
Hooray.
Michaela, obviously the family's gone through this extraordinary 6-7 years or more now, involving some extraordinary challenges for you all personally, which would have happened anyway, or perhaps not actually in your dad's case, but certainly for you and your mum. But you've come out and you're got fabulously wealthier as a family, I guess, than before this started, fabulously more famous than before it started. But if I had the power to transport you back to anonymity, without the fame, without the extra money and all the rest of it, would you take that deal, or would you be actually quite happy where you've all washed up now?
There's no way I would take that deal, even with everything we went through. I was talking to my husband the other day about why I'm interested in making money versus why he is, and he said, he always liked expensive things, basically. And I said, I'm like decked out right now, but I also didn't mind buying things from thrift shops and decorating my room that way. I didn't want to feel vulnerable anymore from not having enough money. And so my yearn to be successful was always so that I would be less vulnerable, so that when I had a problem, I had money to help me solve it. And that was my motivation.
Good
and
one.
so I wouldn't want to go
Yeah.
back to before, because I feel more secure and less vulnerable now.
Wow, you guys, I love how Michaela rounded this video up, because that state of being vulnerable is where no one wants to be. And if making money is the only way out of that state, why not just make that money? And being able to buy everything that you desire is an answered prayer, because once you don't have money, your thought process is whack. You don't even know what to do. And that is when you are at your lowest and being vulnerable to people that you are not supposed to be vulnerable to. And nobody wants to be in that state, essentially. And you guys, Michaela is a very intelligent young woman, and I love to hear her views on things, just like her father. This is very, very interesting. I really learned a thing or two from this video, and I believe you guys also learned one or two things here. If you did enjoy watching, give this video a massive thumbs up, comment, share, and all that good stuff. And this is me officially signing out. I'll see you all in my next video. Bye, guys.